Steelseries sent over their new Sensei Neon Rider edition along with the appropriate mousepad, and while I was skeptical at first, Steelseries is back. Good afternoon, welcome back to Turbo Tortoise Tech. My name is Wookie Triple XL, and today I'm actually very excited to present you what I'm thinking is pretty much the best Steelseries product I've used in like the last 2-3 years. Actually was quite a fan when I was a kid, and I felt like they fell off quite heavily in recent years, and they are very much back. And then their Neon Rider special editions, which you can see in front of me over here, which are limited edition run CS skin, gun skin based stuff. I actually daily a Hyper Beast CSGO edition Steelseries QCK, and so the mouse pads, as far as I'm concerned, are some of the best you can buy, and they do look absolutely fantastic. The print quality on this is really good. Even on the mouse, the overall print quality and stuff of these products is absolutely spectacular. There's no loss of detail or anything like that. It's literally pixel perfect on the mouse and on the mouse pad. But what about performance? So this is where our story takes a turn for the much better. Let me tell you, when a Steelseries came out in the early days, I was first exposed to the Akari, the Kinzu, and the Sensei itself, this exact mouse and shape. We've seen other brands going back to basics and repeating those designs because they'd been around for such a long time that people had become so accustomed to some of those ergo shapes that literally they just couldn't do without them anymore. And this is one of those cases, except the internals, the overall build quality and everything have just been ramped up considerably. When they launched the Rival 310 and the Sensei 310, the scroll specifically was a complete deal breaker. As someone who uses scroll up as their jump, scroll down to switch different weapons and that sort of stuff, middle click to be able to open up new tabs or to drag on a tab and stuff. The scroll wheel is actually quite important in a mouse these days and is used quite a lot. Their thumb buttons as well weren't the best. Just overall, I felt like their build quality had dropped to a point that it made them somewhat irrelevant, especially in a premium mouse space. But I can tell you, this has been one of the most seamless plug-and-play experiences I've ever had while reviewing on this channel. And honestly, I almost can't even words at how excited I am that this is back in a proper product once again. To the point that I might just actually eventually replace my own personal mouse with this exact mouse. Even the Neon Rider one, it just looks really good. The lighting is so much better. It's so bright. Honestly, if you were to leave this on, it would be like having a nightlight permanently in your bedroom. The shape is really good once again. They've gone for a matte finish on the sides that doesn't look like it's going to wear out. I actually went through 2 Rival 300s before I stopped using them altogether because that rubber area would wear out, and then underneath there is that sticky glue, and then you got this on your finger. That's what you want when you're gaming. 100% that's going to be less than ideal. But this thing's sensor has been developed with Pixart as an exclusive Steelseries sensor, 1800 DPI on the max, 450 IPS with a 50G acceleration. So it's 450 inches per second possible movement with a 50G acceleration. So I literally took it and went, and it didn't skip tracking once. It has not skipped a beat since I plugged it in. And like I say, normally I use the stuff for a couple of hours, unplug it, put it back in its box, and get ready to return it to Uncle Eve Tech. But this one, they might have to actually literally fight me off. The scroll is so much better. It's got a really nice textured feel and everything to it. The thumb buttons are so much better. They feel like they did in the old days, where it's like this unbreakable piece of brilliant engineering that's here once again. The software on Steelseries Engine 3 is significantly better than it was before as well. The macros are much easier to do and set up, and they work pretty seamlessly. Even when it looks like it might be a bit off, even in the macro, it does exactly what you input. So in my example, I just was trying out Friday, best day of the week, am I right? To check if it was recording and stuff properly, and then putting that out properly. And absolutely seamless, absolutely no problems. You can do massively complex macros on this, edit the delays in between each keystroke and stuff. It's incredibly complex compared to what it used to be. And the reassignment of buttons is handled with just a drop down inside of the menus. This Sensei 10 has made me see SteelSeries in the light that I first saw it when, like I say, we were messing around with Hikaris and Kinzus and Senseis in the early days. They were like pretty much the premier mouse that you could get was a SteelSeries. It was one of the best, and they are so back to being on form with that. The only real criticisms I can make of these two products, honestly, is I would have liked a braided edge on the mouse pad. I think it's something that you have to do because they eventually do lift, especially on the bottom ends where your hand and your wrist is ultimately rubbing against that. It is going to lift eventually. So to preserve it, especially something that's a limited edition, I don't know if I would use this every day kind of thing, but being a limited edition and not having the braiding, but that's kind of defeats the purpose in some ways. It would be nice to have just some braiding on the edge of SteelSeries, please. And then the other thing is the rubberized cable. Yes, it is stronger, but it does also tend, when you go side to side, if you don't have a mouse bungee or something, you are going to have this thing floating across your table. It maintains its cable memory quite hectically, so the bends and stuff, as you can see, even with me using it for a couple of days, they're still right there as if it came out of the package because of the rubberization. So that's about, and the one other thing is, when I don't know if it was just this one that I unpackaged, but this was a brand new product and there were no extra feet inside the mouse packaging. And that would be really nice to have. I'm sure you can purchase extra feet, but it's a premium mouse. So for probably a couple of cents on the dollar, you could include just a spare set of feet. As that's sort of a general thing for premium mouses. But the last thing I will say in positivity around this mouse is the fact that it is ambidextrous and you can assign the buttons like from that drop down as per normal. So you can set it up for left hand profile and you've got a proper premium grade mouse. Not just like it's pretty good. No, this is pretty much one of the best sensors I've ever used. I've never had such a seamless experience with it where you plug it in and it just picks up everything and does its thing, you know. This thing even detects if Windows settings are done incorrectly on its software and then will adjust them to sort of raw input as it were for you. This is great. This is just really, really good. Solid 10 out of 10 from me. Like, there are a little bit of like nitty gritty gripes here and there, but I mean, the quality of this thing and the usage of it being as good as it is, I'm resold SteelSeries. If this is the start of your guys' comeback, this is a really good start to their comeback. Anyway, guys, do hope you've enjoyed this review. If you have, do hit us up with a like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you on the flip side.